Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aina Inshira, and today I will be presenting about my Myers-Briggs Type Indicator MBTI, which is INFP. Here we have 4 contents to go through, which are Introduction, Personality Traits Explanation, Personal Examples, and Implications as a student and a teacher. So what are INFPs usually known as? They're mostly known as meditators or healers. They are very thoughtful and idealistic individuals who have strong personal values and are sensitive with emotions. They're also known to be very empathetic and authentic to themselves. Next, we're going through personality traits explanation. The first one is introversion, the I, also known as introvert. INFPs are known to be private, quiet, and observant. They are also very thoughtful. They also mostly care about deep and meaningful connections with others. They prefer hanging out with a few close friends in a small circle. They don't particularly prefer to be in big circles because it exhausts them, leading to their social battery runs out. So that means they need alone time to recharge. For example, I prefer staying at home than attending parties because I dislike loud noises. Second example, I often think before I speak because I'm scared that I might stir my words wrong and make the interaction awkward. Okay, next is intuitive, are often very abstract and creative people. They tend to use symbolism and meaning when they describe something. For example, using poems or metaphors. They are also very theoretical people. They are highly imaginative when it comes to creating original content. Now, there are 2 examples that describes my experience. Is that before I start drawing, I have to think first what kind of scenery I'm going for. I can imagine a tranquil scenery with sakura trees, or just draw characters based on my inspiration. The second example is I tend to use metaphors when I'm explaining something to make others understand, such as her eyes shines like stars when she sees her favorite fictional character. Get it? Alright, next is feeling or feelers. Feelers who have a strong moral compass tends to prioritize their personal values over others' opinion. With their personal values, they make decisions aligned with their true selves. My personal life example is that I can tell when someone is in a bad mood or feeling down without asking. I also like to help people when they're in need, even if they don't ask for it. The last personality trait is perceiving. In INFP, often describes them as flexible. They have an adaptable mindset, which makes them easy to adapt new information. At the same time, they're very open-minded. They accept situations in multiple perspectives. Perceiving traits don't often listen to one side, but more than 2 sides. Lastly, the perceiving traits are often spontaneous. They don't like strict rules or schedules because it makes them feel restricted. There are 2 examples that describes my life. I can accept multiple opinions and still stay true to myself. Second is I work better when my deadlines are approaching. Alright, next we're going to implications as a teacher and a student. The first one is implication of subjects of interest. As a student, I prefer theoretical and meaningful, value-driven lessons. Theoretical subjects such as physics. Meanwhile, for meaningful, value-driven subjects are political and Islam. In contrast, I may struggle with in rigid and exam-focused environments such as math and science, mostly mathematics. I try to develop self-discipline and structured my study strategies through doing more exercises. The second implication is receiving feedback. Personally, I am highly sensitive to feedback. So, the solution is that I would much rather listen to positive and constructive feedback than listening to harsh and negative ones. Alright, next we're going to implications as a teacher. The first implication is student engagement. During my practicum, I made a lot of fun activities for my students. With my creativity in teaching, it increases my students' interest and motivation to study more, especially in English. Lastly is classroom management. Classroom management is my weakest skill. I'm still trying to develop and improve my ways. I tend to avoid confrontation when my students are misbehaving. I feel emotionally affected by my students' behavior, and it makes me feel demotivated. So the solution is that I have to be more assertive and form clear classroom rules. Alright, finally, for the conclusion. In conclusion, being an INFP involves navigating the world through meaning, compassion, and authenticity. It requires intentional development of structure and emotional regulation. INFPs value growth while remaining true to their core values. All in all, any types of MBTI have their own unique traits and abilities, especially as a teacher. And that is all for today. Thank you.